former Queensland Red superstars Aiden Toa and Dallin Murphy. Lads, how are we?
Hey, boy, yeah, mate, good, really good.
Very, very excited to be here, obviously.
Bit nervous?
A little bit nervous. On our bench, the battlers, the gruesome twosome, Big Fat Darcy, Ryan Fellini.
Fellow Terration, mate.
What do I ask you? I don't really have a question, mate. I love you, mate.
Yo, ma, and welcome to the PAC Show, proudly brought to you by PEG Athletic Club and DoubleTake Studios, the show that brings you all the news, the interviews, the reviews, the previews, the highlights, lowlights, all that sort of stuff from rugby here in Australia and around the world. My name is Jay Ball, and tonight we don't have Dallin. He's not joining us, but we do still have Dos, but joining him in the hot seat. You might know him as the former captain of the Melbourne Rebels and Queensland Reds. You might know him representing the Wallaby Gold for the Wallabies. But more than anything, you probably know him coming off the bench in the 06 Doggies Grand Final win over the filth. Scott Ingerbottom, yeah! Yes!
He's way better looking. He's a hotter ranger, that's for sure. Well, when he had his hair.
I was going to say, he's not a ranger anymore. And then we got Freens and Big Fat Darcy over there.
Yeah. Woo! Better.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, you guys are so bad, man. We're a little bit flustered. There was a lot going on over there just off camera while I was trying to do the intro, so apologies for that. But, Freeney, that's a nice shirt you got going on there, man.
Shameless plug.
Skinnier, but it's good plug here for PAC Fit.
You have to look down.
Yeah. I've actually got the tat on my foot.
Is it? Oh, my God. That's classy.
Is not a good ad read.
That is real classy. Yeah, thanks for that. You just tanked PAC. But Higgers, mate, thanks so much for joining us, man. It's been a long time coming. I think we've been trying to get you in the mixer for a while, but Dow couldn't make it, so we got you in here. How are you feeling? You a bit nervous?
Mate, I'm a bit nervous.
Shouldn't be.
Yeah, no, look, Dossie and I have been talking about it for a few weeks, so he's been just begging me to come on the show.
He's been too cool for us.
He has.
He is very cool.
Too busy, man. But no, it's good, man. I'm happy to be here and happy to join.
And recently retired as well, mate. How's that going for you?
It was 1 year. The weekend just been
loose.
And no regrets, man.
Really?
I am pretty happy.
The body
I'm not playing.
You? Yeah. The body thanking
yeah.
you?
I feel good most mornings.
Yeah.
Not every morning, but most. So it's nice.
What a win.
If you're going by the way Freeney does it, you've got another 4 retirements in you.
You do, mate.
3 days has been his largest retirement, I think. What happened there, mate?
Can we confirm if you played on the weekend?
Absolutely not.
Can you confirm?
I kept seeing my name on the sheets, and I'm like, what's going on here?
What is going on?
Yeah, no, mate. I just bird boxed everyone. I'm not going back. I'm not going back, mate.
Don't say anything you can't take back.
Yeah. I think even if they did say, like, you are on the bench
You've qualified for finals
for 5 games, I still don't think I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't be fucked.
Well, what happened there? We saw on Friday that you were named to start, and then 6 hours later you were on the bench. What's doing?
I think they're just playing tricks. Uni would have been
On
like,
who?
oh my God.
Yeah,
Uni would have been like, oh, I'm so
no.
scared for 2
Change the
scrums,
game
and then
plan.
he'll be done. And then he'll be done. We'll be fine. Weather the storm. But in saying that, what a cool little fun fact there. Reece Hodge, shout out to Reece. He's just first year could be first year out of Colts. I'm pretty sure he is, 80% sure he is. Got his first cap on the weekend for Prems.
Yeah. Is he the reserve hooker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks like Bebop from Ninja Turtles.
Not Rocksteady.
Rocksteady, either one of them. But he has his cute little hair. But no, he got a gig on the weekend. No good. Shout out, Reece.
And he wouldn't have got that if it wasn't for you retiring. So that's all thanks to
I
you.
probably
as the
should have.
Freeze.
Probably would have been dropped to 3rd grade.
You just knew it was time to put that hammy to go.
I was so shit, man, when I played this year. I did 2 barnstorming runs this year, and that was it. And then I was done.
Barnstorming.
Barnstorming.
Do we have any footage, Zachy?
Hit us with the clip, Zach. Nothing.
Well, all we saw was that knock on that went to that you then said, oh yeah, went straight through the hands, went straight down.
Oh no, I saw. Yeah, it's too late, mate.
And then pushing Sammy Hunt in the back.
Yeah, and the clean out to the
all I
guy
did.
laying on the ground.
We remember that, do we? Yeah.
It's not time to be on stand either. Like, you don't really want to be live broadcasted around wherever Australia. You don't want to be in that fat. Like, it does nothing. Horizontal stripes does nothing for anyone.
No, it doesn't, man.
Not the Hamburglar.
No, it doesn't. Das can attest to that, wearing horizontal stripes last week. Das, that was very brave of you, I've got to admit.
Oh, here we
You're just going with this.
We need a higher table, mate. Like these guys.
I know, we've been
the
saying for
desks,
weeks.
right? They can hide.
Yeah.
They're going to cut us down
You,
somehow, Das.
Right?
Yeah, well, I
And
didn't
you
think
got
I've
a
got this
black
nice big
tablecloth,
jacket on.
right? Slimming.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Feeling good. All right, well, we've got a huge episode this evening. We're obviously going to be recapping all the action from the Super Rugby Pacific final between the Satyrs and the Blues. We're going to be discussing that Australia A squad. Some big selections in there. There's a few in there that Friends doesn't really like. A couple of boilovers in QPR and Shoot Shield as well, Dos, which I'm sure you're going to be chuffed to have a yarn about that.
Brilliant.
But first and what?
What about the English barbars? Did you guys watch that?
Did you raise this in the...
No, I did not. Forgot to do it on the
pre-thing?
way. Forgot to do it.
Come on, man.
England versus barbars. Barbars won. Sorry.
There we go. We're caught up.
And we're going to discuss the England versus Barbars game as well. But before that, it's time for PAC News.
Oh, that was good. Zach, what happened? Do better.
That's right. It is. Nah, Zachy boy's good gas.
That
PAC
was
News.
quick.
PAC News, he's very good on the old ones and twos there, Zachy boy. Big news. Hamish McLennan has come out and he's said informally over a long lunch or a dinner or whatever it is to NZRU CEO that he's happy to cut ties with the Kiwis over the whole TV cash deal. Dos, thoughts on this? Can we survive without the Kiwis?
Man, I reckon we can. Everyone thinks depth's an issue, but I mean, when you look at it from a Super Rugby, I guess, specific aspect, it may be because we're getting guys, the best players out of club, to potentially play against the best Kiwi players in their country. So there's obviously going to be a big skills difference because they haven't been exposed to the training and all of those sorts of things. But I mean, if we bring a domestic comp, we add a few more teams. I firmly believe we have the talent here to create some genuine interest and rival the domestic comps of the NRL and the AFL. I think it's a good thing.
So you think it's a good thing? Higgins, your opinion. You've played against plenty of Kiwi opposition. There's a lot to be said. People always say that playing against the best makes you better. Do you think that it would be, not even talking about the financials, talking about the growth of talent and the game in Australia, do you think going it alone, not playing against the Kiwis on a regular basis would be a good or bad thing? Yeah, we ask hard-hitting questions here, Higgins.
Look, could we actually afford it for starters?
Hamish McLennan has said they reckon financially they could afford it.
But is there? I mean, are you getting bums on seats?
I mean, he's talking about the 40,000 supporters that went to the Super Rugby AU final last year.
Yeah.
So
Look, I'm still a. This is probably showing my age, but I'm still the best Southern Hemisphere competition was when it was the Tri-Nations.
100%.
And it's just like a constant changing. It's a constant, it's never-ending changing beast at the moment. And at some point, they've got to make a decision on what it's going to be for a decent amount of a future, and maybe going to just Australian teams will just settle it down, build something from the ground up instead of trying to add teams, take away teams.
Yeah. I have to agree with Scott. I think if they're going to make a change, then there has to be a long-term, set-in-stone vision for it to be able to reach the heights that they'd set out for. I think, we saw with the NRC, they didn't really have a plan. It's like, let's bring in a tier 2 comp. And then it just didn't really pick up or didn't go anywhere, and then they just scrap it. They try to do it back in.
So what you're saying is bring back the Ballymore Tornadoes.
Oh, imagine.
Yeah.
East Coast Aces.
East Coast Aces.
I mean, what'd be good about it, I think, and this is not just from a playing point of view, is like from a coaching.
100%.
And,
I was
and
just
like
thinking that.
creating jobs, right? Like there's literally 5 teams, and this is coming from doing a bit of coaching now. Like being able to coach in a professional, semi-professional team, in Australia, besides just the 5 teams that you can coach in. There's a lot that, hopefully to create a lot more jobs.
And it might not even actually just stay within Australia. If you do go Super Rugby Pacific, that means there's opportunity to...
Well, there's going to be Japan, the Drew already there.
Yeah. I reckon the current setup is perfect.
Yeah.
You could drop a Japanese team in there if you actually get the blessing, quote unquote, from Japanese rugby, because that was the biggest issue. There was such a huge disconnect between the Japanese national side and the Sunwolves that resulted in.
Well, there was that, and it was also the privately owned teams, the top league teams not releasing their players to play for the Sunwolves.
So, I mean, I think the current setup, I can't help but think big fat ass Hamish McLennan's just playing hardball, you reckon?
I think he had too many red wines at his long lunch.
Yeah, he did.
Like, we're going all the way, mate.
Yeah,
we had a pretty good year this year. He's like, oh my God, what happened? What did I say? He told me to get fucked.
Well, the biggest
what did I do?
Well, the biggest thing is actually around the TV rights deal. So it's $90 million a year from Sky in New Zealand, and it's 33 for Stan in Australia. And at the moment, it used to be that they would pool it all together. South Africa, obviously, their TV rights deal would be a hell of a lot more, but it would be a three-way even split. Whereas now, because there was the differentiation between the two comps over the last COVID break, New Zealand had a $90 million deal. We had 30. So New Zealand has come out and said, what we said about only two teams coming in was wrong. I think it's probably just hardball, and the end goal needs to be you pool that 120 mil together, even split. Competition goes on as is, because it was awesome this year. It was absolutely awesome.
Yeah, and I mean the Aussie teams definitely showed this year that they've stepped up. And, we're genuinely competitive with the Kiwi team. So, Hamish McLennan does have that, as supporting evidence to argue with.
He's also got 10 years of ridiculous rugby tournaments in Australia.
Yeah.
2 World Cups, the British and Irish Lions Tour, an Olympics and a Commonwealth Games. He's got that in his back pocket. So that is something you can lord over NZRU, saying financially, back to what you're saying, Higgers, we should be okay.
We've got a big windfall coming in, yeah.
I reckon what Higgins is saying, maybe it's the time, maybe they've just gone, we do need to build from the ground
ours.
Up.
Yeah.
We need to start making, the foundations, as they say. But start poaching from other codes and whatnot. Leagues just weaseling their way into the Jeeps comp and all that sort of stuff. Maybe they need to do something so they can start keeping the talent in union instead of just letting it go to wherever and expecting everyone just to rock up down to your normal clubs and whatnot.
Bloody oath. I'd love to see Premier Rugby clubs and Shoot Shield teams finally getting paid. I reckon if you do that, you're going to keep a lot of bloody talent.
And then even have a comp with them. That second tier can just be clubs.
Yeah.
If you're paying those guys, I think the standard's going to ratchet up even a little bit more, and it could actually lead to that being like the Q Cup or the New South Wales Cup in league.
I think
it's a semi-pro high standard of footy.
Whatever you do, I reckon you've got to take on what the Northern Hemisphere are doing and play your season for longer. Why play half the year? Create more games. Like if you play Super Rugby, say it is how it is now, just do 2 rounds, home and away.
Yeah.
And make it, 25 weeks.
So,
why just play half the year?
Put little test windows in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, look at what just happened over the weekend. That premiership final, Leicester getting up 15 points to 12 over Saracens with a Freddie Burns drop goal in the 79th and a half minute. Calling it, Northern Hemisphere rugby shits all over Southern Hemisphere rugby.
And then
by way of talent, style of play, coaching, the atmosphere, everything about it shits all over Aussie rugby and to an extent Kiwi rugby. And
Crusaders would still beat everyone, I think.
Mate, I would not go so fast. Mate, look at the guys they've got running around. They have 2/3 of their starting side typically are internationals, not necessarily be it from England or Ireland or Scotland. They've got Saffers, they've got Polynesian they are legit, and the style of footy they play, they have progressed so much further than Aussie rugby over the last 15 years that they play a better brand of attacking footy and they've adapted their game to play a better style of footy.
But I think the English, to be fair, would love even if it was 9-6 penalty goals. They're pretty easily amused, to be honest. No offense.
The Saracens only kicked 4 penalties, actually.
They're just going nuts.
But if you're winning a Super Rugby, if you win a Super Rugby Pacific title off penalties and a drop goal, would you give a shit?
No.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, they genuinely froth off it, oh yeah, mate. did you see, mate, you kicked a 60-metre penalty, mate? He's like, well, no, mate.
He ain't mastered that accent, has he?
I thought that was pretty good, actually. Well done, friends.
From
The Australia A squad. So we've seen the Australia A squad was announced. We saw, obviously, the bigger names that we always thought were going to be in there, Reece Hodge and Fraser McWright. It's rounded out by some other, I think there's 8 capped Wallabies in there. Filippo, Fletty Kaitu'u, Tom Robertson, Harry Johnson-Holmes, and then Ned Hennigan, amongst others. A couple of surprises in there. Some young fellas coming through, Dos. Is there anyone that you're super chuffed to have seen made that squad?
I like I can never say his name too, Marky Mark, the Waratahs winger.
Mark Nwangani Tuase.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how he goes at that next level. I think he was probably one of the most improved players in Super Rugby this year.
He's quite quick too, isn't he? He's got that,
Very.
And he's just like
Coats
good
and
frame. He's quick, and he was just really consistent this year. And he was tough. His defensive work was a lot better.
Yeah.
So he's one, and the 2 young 10s, Donaldson and Tane Edmund.
Yes.
Really,
That's awesome to
Really
see.
looking forward to see how they progress and how they step up in physicality. But it's nice to see the Aussie A program back, and seeing these guys who are on the fringes, or guys who probably wouldn't even expect to have been playing, sort of rep footy at this time of year, get a chance and get sort of recognised for their efforts throughout the year.
And sort of 4, 5, 6 weeks in that program is going to do them good. Higgers, was the Australia A program around when you were sort of just coming through the ranks? It buckled sort of in the turn of the 2010s or so, didn't it?
It was around 2000.
I think 09 maybe.
09, 10 would have been maybe.
Because
Yeah.
Tussie.
Yeah, I
It was
remember
Tussie,
Tussie,
mate.
Benny Lucas.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
was like the last Aussie A team.
Yeah.
And a couple. It's interesting because you look at the guys in the team, and some you're like, you sort of split half, right? Some you're like, well, I think he should have been in the Wallaby squad, and others you're like, well, he was okay.
Which one?
Yeah.
Name him.
Oh, look, I mean, surely everyone's as disappointed as me about Fraser. I mean,
Being in the
to have
Wallabies.
like the standout in Super Rugby AU not make the Wallabies
That's
for me
insane.
is pretty tough.
But look at it this way. He wouldn't have been getting any game time in this Wallaby setup. So would you prefer him to go back and play, against...
Good doing good.
Go back and play club rugby and just dominate
No, sorry.
all
I said-
those chaps, or
Australia
actually
A
go
good
into...
doing.
Well, that's what I mean.
yeah.
So, like, he could either be... Like, if the Australia A program wasn't there, he's in the Wallaby squad and he holds hit shields for 6 weeks. Or he can go back, play a bit of club, play 4 or 5 weeks of top-grade footy against Tonga, Samoa, whoever it is, and Fiji, and then also try to impress it. Like, it adds that second tier that I
Is he
think
playing club
he
this week?
needs.
I think Jeep's playing brothers.
I don't know if he'll be playing. Brothers didn't have any of their players.
No, and I think the communication was right. Like Dave Rennie's pretty much come out and said if Hooper gets injured, Fraser straight in.
Yeah.
So
He's a like-for-like swap.
Yeah. So I mean, as
Bit
much
better
as,
on the ball, though.
as much as just a bit better on the ball, as much as everyone's disappointed, I think as long as that communication piece is there and Fraser knows exactly where he stands, I think it'll only be better for him playing footy rather than holding pads, as you said.
Yeah.
I reckon what's most disappointing for me about that is the fact that he should be playing Wallabies. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
So
For me,
you're
it's
saying he's better than Michael Hooper. Hot take. Higgins coming with the fire, man.
he's one of my favourite players, I have to say. And the other one, I'll tell you the other dude who and I don't like to give the Sky Blues a lot of credit, but
Same.
Dylan Peach, the winger.
Dylan Peach.
Oh yeah, he was good,
I
man.
thought he was great. You
Yeah,
know,
it's
like
like John C. Riley.
he played. Yeah,
He does.
He played like a winger. He got the ball. He scored tries. Man, that's he's a finisher.
Yes, he's a
I
finisher.
second that, man. He's great.
I liked him.
Yeah.
He is a finisher. Big Fat Dust, who's your favourite player in the squad?
Well, we've already said Fraser McWright. So there you go.
Who's your second favourite player?
Second favourite? I do like seeing Tane Edmonds. Tane?
Edmonds.
Edmonds?
It's Ed Med.
Oh, right. This is the whole Jerome Hughes kind of situation again. I'm just excited to see Fiji, Tonga, Samoa play week in, week out footy,
Yes.
at a high level.
Who's your favourite player from Samoa?
From Samoa.
Stupid Balangi.
There you go. just want to see them all play really well, J-Ball.
Such a colonizer.
Why would you do that to me, J-Ball?
I saw you sitting over there and your eyes were glazing over
No,
a bit.
no. Because I'm thinking, does Zach have
He's thinking about, geez, I got to go home, grab that other bathroom tonight. Look at those hands.
Crazy baby. Anyway.
Oh,
How good's that?
oh man, that's so good. I don't know if we've got him on the blowers yet, do we, Zach? No, we don't. We don't. We're getting Sam Jeffries, formerly of the Rebels. He's now applying his trade for the NTT Shining Arcs over in Japan. He's going to be joining us for a yarn. I don't think I got a chance to say that before. Freeney interrupted me rudely in the intro before.
Freeney really railroaded the intro.
He's railroading the whole show.
You didn't have to answer it. I have a hand up.
Asking Higgers about retirement, and then all of a sudden it's about your barnstorming runs.
I've got to get a couple of plugs in there, boys.
Oh, I love it.
It's
brilliant.
Good. Takes a lot of pressure off me, that's for sure. Well, we don't have Sam on the blower as yet, so... Oh, no, we do have Sam on the blower. Oh, no. Damn, I was just... Sam Jeffries, everybody! Yeah! Oh, no.
He's frozen?
I think he's frozen. Oh, shit. This is a goddamn shit show. All right. Freens, how was your weekend?
Horrible. Absolutely horrible. Got my daughter's just been crook again.
Oh.
Yeah, it's been horrible.
Oh, that's
Screaming.
not so funny.
Yeah, and how do you feel now, mate?
Not too
Sorry,
good, actually.
No. Yeah, no, it's shit.
Yeah.
On it? No.
Sick kids is never fun, man.
No, it's rough.
Horrible.
Here he is.
Joining us right now from the NTT Shining Arcs is Sam Jeffries. Sam, how are you, brother?
Go, lads. Well, thanks. Thanks for having me.
There we go. Second time's a charm. We tried to throw it to you before, and I think your phone was frozen. Bloody hell. Mate, how you doing? How you been? We know obviously you're over in Japan for a few years now with the NTT Shining Arcs. You recently relegated, mate. What's doing there?
Damn, you took my question.
Yeah. It wasn't our year, unfortunately. A few COVID mishaps and cancellations didn't really go away, and we found ourselves in relegation, which wasn't it wasn't great. It's not great to look back on, I guess.
Mate, and Jeffries with it. With a team boasting names like Izzy Folau, Liam Gill, obviously yourself, Sam Jeffries, at the top of that list. Mate, obviously, what was the club's reaction like? Because I know, having spent 3 years over in Honda, when things don't go your way, the staff in the Honda factory. They got pretty, angry about why you weren't winning, and lots of questions would come down from them. What were the NTT guys like?
Yeah, to be honest, Doss, the club was actually really supportive of us the whole year, and I'm going back. So they
well, answer carefully then.
yeah, so no really supportive of us the whole year, and we found ourselves in a pretty unlucky position. But looking to turn around next year. Thanks for that stitch up, though.
So, mate, no pay cuts, more holidays, less footy.
Yeah, well, Higgins, unlike you, mate, some of us love the game. So, I'm not sure if there is or there isn't, but mate, I'm in it for the game and giving back to the game that's given me so much. Instead of
How good.
take, like, mate, maybe it is for you.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Hey, Sammy, friends here, mate. So I remember Jono Lance was trying to explain this whole playoff situation in Japan. Can you just tell us what the hell happened and how did it, like, is it real complex or something like that?
Yeah, well, we ended up...
Because you won more or something like that, and then you played and then
we won more games than the teams below us, but the teams below us got 5-point wins based on COVID, forfeiting for COVID. So the other team forfeited. So it was a little bit of a debacle. So that was probably ruffled a few feathers.
So a win for a COVID is 5 points. So they've scored that fourth try.
So we got a 21-point loss put on us 3 times just for COVID.
Because you guys didn't have, or because you guys had COVID?
because we had COVID. Yeah, not with.
What the fuck? That is so funny.
That is bullshit.
I tell you what,
So
not surprising. Not surprising at all.
Does it work? Does it just work mysteriously over there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just some random things like that happen. Far out. That's ridiculous.
Well, Sam, I want to ask you, mate. Obviously, you've got a hell of a rugby pedigree in your family. All your brothers are what? You're all over 2 meters tall, and there's 4 of yous. You've got your brother now plying his trade out at Brothers and towering over everyone. Is there any chance you're ever going to make your way back and maybe lace up the boots alongside him for the film?
No, I'd love to. Yeah, 3 of us are 2 meters, and then unfortunately, earlier on in my younger brother Ben's life, he was diagnosed as 6'3". So he was never going to make it, unfortunately.
We don't talk about him anymore.
Sunscreen bill will be through the roof, though, at Jeffrey's household. Let's be honest. Get the bloody wide brim hats out.
And you can't teach tall, Sam? Is that right?
You can't teach tall, mate. You can't teach tall.
Can we get a shot of those mitts? I just because I saw them before. That
Oh,
Jesus.
mate.
Oh, I'm so jealous. Look at these little bad boys. It's like I don't have the second knuckle or something. It's just like it's horrible. I've got nothing, mate. That's ridiculous.
So, Sammy, first year at NTT. Before that, you're with me at NEC Green Rockets when we were.
Hell of a time. We had a hell of a time.
That's right, mate. That's right. And we did all right, right? When I left, you guys just went downhill, of course. Isn't that what happened?
Yeah, I figured probably, yeah. It was similar timing.
And then you avoided check.
I think when I took over as marquee, I think maybe that sort of thing started to fly.
You started playing. That's what happened. I left. You played. Downhill. Mate, what's better, obviously, at NTT Comms with Gilly? You got Izzy there too.
Yeah, Gilly and Izzy there. Great dudes, obviously Brizzy lads, but it's a great part of town. Shinyarasu, Tenadai, as you know, can get a little bit quiet at the best of times. So moving into closer to Tokyo was pretty good.
Well, what are your future plans, then, Sam? Because obviously you were down at the Melbourne Rebels. You've been in Japan for a few years now. I mean, is the lifestyle and the style of play and just everything about Japan sort of suiting you pretty well, or do you have plans to maybe come back, seeing as we've got the Super Rugby Pacific starting to really kick off?
Yeah, no, I've really enjoyed it. I've been over there for 4 seasons now, so I really enjoy my time over in Japan. And I'll probably keep going as for the foreseeable future over there. I'll go back next year and then see what happens after that. But I'd love to one day play with one of my brothers. Good.
Is there, Sammy, you got any chance of getting a passport, any chance of playing for Japan? Because you obviously haven't played.
Yeah, I'll qualify in about 18 months or 2 years. So I got to survive another couple of contracting.
So World Cup back in Australia. Sam Jeffries for Japan.
Imagine that.
Cherry blossoms.
Japanese, yeah.
And the Japanese second row, Sam Jeffries and James Moore.
So good.
But no, so if you are there for another year and a half, you do become eligible and they give you a tap on the shoulder and say, do you want to play for Japan? Would you put your hand up?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah.
Hell yeah. On ya.
Yeah.
Good stuff,
No,
man.
I definitely would.
Absolutely.
And Sammy, you've got just the one kid?
Just the one, yeah.
Just the one?
He's been a handful, but he's been good.
Mate, and how's the family enjoying life over Japan?
No, they love it, except I guess, as you guys probably know, it can get a little small in the Japanese apartments from time to time. We're only one child, but once you get up to the 3, 4, or 5, like some families have, then it can get certainly pretty cramped.
You have to duck everywhere? Is all the doorways pretty low? Or?
I don't wear my RMs inside.
Yeah, Higgins is telling.
That's a hazard.
Higgins was saying you got a couple of pairs of Cuban heels. You don't need to get any taller, mate. Oh, we're frozen. Yeah, the joke was shit anyway.
He's back.
He's back.
I'm back.
Don't
No,
worry.
no,
don't
you're
worry.
right.
It
We
was a
thought
shit joke.
it was a shit joke from Freems anyway, man.
Saying you had Cuban heels, but you know, just don't worry. Let's move on. Oh dear.
So no interest to come back, Sammy. You're pretty happy over there. Bo's going. Is he? You happy for him to go to Japanese school and kindy and all that sort of thing?
Oh, sorry, you cut out for a little bit of that, but yeah, there's always interest, and you never sort of know what happens at the end of every year, and things change. But at the moment, we'll probably keep on the path we're on.
Sam, I want to ask you. Japanese are known for like dropping trowel, walking around onsens naked, and all that sort of stuff. When you're in the showers after the game, are you budgies on or budgies off? This is like a serious question. You see a lot of guys after the game rocking around in their budgies in the shower. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, when I first got to Japan, Higgins took me down to an onsen, and yeah, it was a little bit of a bonding, and I went to walk into the budgies and said,
Take them off, Sam. Take them off.
make those tiny little budgies and
They would have seen you guys
And,
walking
no,
in, they're like,
since-
Gojira!
yeah. Since then, I've been a budgies off guy.
Nice.
Have to, mate. You have to. What about Izzy? Hard hitting question. Is Izzy budgies on or budgies off?
Ooh.
He's a budgies on guy.
Yeah. Okay. Fair
They
call.
tracks.
Fair call.
Well, Sam, I think Big Fat Das has a question for you.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Mate, if Wayne Bennett was lurking in the car park back when you were a schoolboy trying to poach you for rugby league to come to the Dolphins, would you do it? Would you get in the van?
Right? Redcliffe, hell of a place to live.
There we go. All right.
Perfect.
A place by the water. You know what? When I was at school in a water house on the water at Redcliffe then, about 10 years ago, I'd probably be sitting pretty right now.
Yeah, you wouldn't even have to go to Japan and play. Right? You'd just be sitting on a
Yeah, exactly.
$1 billion.
Mud flats at Redcliffe.
Oh, God. Well, Sam, thanks so much for joining us, brother. We know it was kind of last minute, but we appreciate you finding some time to have a yarn with us, brother. And all the best for next year. And hopefully we can see you wearing the Cherry Blossom kit at the Rugby World Cup in Australia in a few years' time.
Yeah, thanks, lads. No, thanks for having me on.
Cheers, brother. Have a good
Sammy.
one.
Thanks, Sammy.
Man, he's a good bloke.
Yeah, he is.
That
He's
was
good
top
value, man.
banter.
Was a good value over in Japan when you played with old Sammy?
Mate, it was. It was like our club, NEC, was a small club. It was kind of like Honda.
Yeah.
And
I don't get it.
we're a
so
low-table club.
Is it like they sound like they're not small clubs, like NEC and the big companies?
Well, as in, so I mean, the budget's different for each club, right? And you have like NEC was, and pretty sure the same with Honda. The guys are workers too, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's changed now where the whole competition is professional.
Now,
Sort of. Is it?
I don't think
not.
Honda isn't.
Retract that statement.
80%
why we
sure.
get
But
these
anyway,
guys
yeah.
on, 'cause
No,
great intel.
me and Sammy were in a really small town, man. We had 2 Indian shops, like 2 Indian restaurants,
Yep.
and that was
That
pretty
was
much it. And it was, you just spend every day together. That's kind of the thing with Japan and the foreigners.
Yeah, and I mean, but that's the difference between, the Suntories, Panasonics. You see the same teams up there because they've got professional Japanese players.
Yeah,
Whereas, as Higa said, our Japanese guys go and work in the factory whenever we're not training. So they're not actual. They don't get time to recover. Blah blah blah.
It's
And
also
so-
the top university players go to the top team.
Yes.
It's not like
Oh, so they
Oh,
actually
true.
get told. Japanese rugby is like, you guys go here.
they get
Well,
told where
because-
to go, man. They,
Yeah.
like the university guys get told, you go there, okay, you go there. Like,
You
fine,
can- Sorry.
Yeah, no, there's that, and it also like for Honda, if you join Honda out of university, you have a job at Honda for the rest of your life.
Yeah, true.
So I think the guys who are sort of, if they don't really back themselves to be a professional player, they'll just think, oh, we'll take the job security and we'll take a deal with Honda. And so you don't get the best Japanese guys. And because you think about it, because each club has a decent enough budget, the foreigners sort of cancel each other out in terms of how we perform on the field. So it comes down to how good your Japanese are.
100%.
One of my dudes' jobs at the company was morale. he walked around and just was like, "Hey, you good? You good?"
Just had a beer in his hand. Come on, come on.
I tell you what,
his job. I was like, what?
but that's very forward thinking of a Japanese company to even have a role like that.
True.
Because most of them
I could use that.
Morale.
I could use that.
I could be a morale booster. I reckon.
Well, that's why we've got Big Fat Das here. It's not for his interview questions. That's for the actual.
He's acting like he doesn't prepare that either.
I
I was watching him that entire interview because usually he chimes in every now and then.
He does.
And he was just sitting back, and I'm like,
Is that a bit
He's
awkward?
got
No, but
nothing.
no, I could look at you, looking at me, and I could feel it. I'm like, don't do it. I go,
You got to be used to it. Now, sure.
as a morale booster, they could just follow Higgers, and anytime he tells someone to take their budgie smugglers off, they just pick them up with a stick and throw them in the bed. Just sit in the change rooms off. We don't wear budgies here. Is he Falau? Budgies on kind of guy.
well, yeah. I mean, he's playing in Japan for a reason, right? Like,
Yeah.
What's the reason?
Yeah,
the
good one.
whole doesn't like. Time for the back. Hit me with the intro.
Oh.
On a live rugby show, people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups. The learned, well-researched, presentable, highly motivated powerhouse, and also the battlers bench. Filled with sloppy, opinionated, underprepared, but still sexy, never worse, whose demeanour is heinous in nature. These are their stories.
I'm glad you ended up putting some videos.
Yeah. Well, speaking of unprepared, I was.
Does this just keep playing?
It does. There's about 23 minutes of this. It's just a loop. No, that's it. Seeing as though there was the Super Rugby Pacific Grand Final, 2 Kiwi teams, I thought the theme of this one would be everyone's most loved and hated Kiwi rugby player, past and present. But before we get to that, I actually watched. I watched Once Were Warriors, and I don't think I'd ever seen it in full.
Oh, yeah,
and
it's just full on.
Once Warriors.
yeah, oh,
Yeah, man.
oh man, that was hectic.
Yeah, bro.
Uncle Bully, most hated, right?
Fuck.
Jesus.
Cliff Curtis, mate.
Right, but he's actually a really nice guy. I went with who did I go first? Zachy, hit us with the
Zachy.
first picture.
Jerry Collins.
Who was Jerry Collins as their most loved?
That was me.
You, J-Bor. Why'd you pick the old top deck? Why'd you go with Jerry Collins?
Sick hairdo, and he used to belt blows.
Yeah.
And he took a piss on the field once.
And he
Yes.
did he do the drop one
Did
leg
the drop
down
knee.
stretching?
Yeah.
Pushes it out the side.
The hip flexor
Classic.
stretch to piss.
He'd do well on a Japanese onsen.
He would. Budgies off. What do you reckon, Higgers?
He would be.
Well, he does that.
He wouldn't
Budgies
even
on
have
the
it. He would just be straight footy shorts off. There'd be nothing under.
Straight hammer. Yeah.
Straight Samoan hammer.
And most hated J-Bor.
Carlos Spencer.
King Carlos. What do you got against King Carlos?
Just pretty much that.
What? That he's ripped.
Yeah.
Didn't
So,
like his
so
style
it's
of
jealousy.
play.
So it's jealousy.
It is jealousy.
Was it the knee kick that he used to do and he used to try and get away with it? Or
No, I don't know what it was. I just think, like, he wasn't as good as everyone gave him credit
Oh.
for. in
He
my
was good when
opinion.
he's on. He was good
Maybe
when he was
Prince
on.
Carlos.
Yes, he was good when he was on,
Okay.
but he needs dope guys around him to make him look good. Hence
Oh.
why they lost that
he-
semi-final.
Like he played for the All Blacks. There you go.
Yep. Hot take.
Very hot take. Next one, Zachy. Most loved
The most loved
Richie
and most
McCaw.
hated.
and then most hated, also Richie McCaw. What's happening?
He's just
A
a
love and a
freak,
hate.
mate. But like, he was so good.
Yep.
He's literally. He was just so good, and I hated him, but you had to respect him, didn't you? He was just every time there's a penalty or something, you look and just Richie would be just gumming up and go, and he's totally cheated. He's just coming from the side from the Australian side, and he somehow gets the ball. And anyway, he was just so good. I was jealous.
You love him, but you hate him.
Yep. Is that fair?
That is fair.
This is a good segment, by the way.
Muls Muliaina.
Yeah, that's mine.
Loved him.
Yeah, loved him. I loved the way he played the game. He could play a variety of positions.
Yep.
And he's a great commentator now in
He is.
in post rugby life.
Yep.
So yeah, he was my favourite.
Also a chiropractor.
He's my most loved. Is he?
He studied at Life University in the US, I believe.
School of Hard Knocks.
Yeah,
So
I knew
Brian
that.
Lima got his
Yeah,
license right as well. Is he playing for Samoa?
I think he's nearly 50, bro.
Well, that's all I got.
You still would want to run a strategy, I reckon.
And most hated, controversial. Oh,
Whoa.
Brad.
Did I say Brad Thorne? Is that what I sent him?
Yeah.
Is that what I sent him?
I don't know.
Okay.
Just
Oh, I
because it
must
popped
have.
up randomly.
I must have.
Let's just say it was.
Yeah.
Why would somebody not like
I
that
mean, when
as
I
a player?
when I thought about the question,
Here we go.
I thought, oh, you know what?
He played in Shoot Shield.
I don't really. I don't. Yeah.
It's true.
He must have played for Shoot
He
Shield.
looks like that kind of guy.
I was like, I don't really want to pick someone that I don't like because they're really good at the sport. Isn't that just seems stupid?
Oh, like a Richard McCaw kind of thing.
Yeah, like a Richard McCaw.
That'd be an easy answer.
Yeah, or a Carlos Spencer
Yeah.
kind of thing.
So what,
yeah.
you just hate him as a person?
Yeah.
It's more.
To be fair, you sort of asked it, who's someone that you love and you hate, like in the same. So
In
that's why
my
I'm confused.
defense,
Who do you love to hate?
I'd said I don't really like the word hate, so I used the word dislike.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you just dislike him with
Yeah.
passion.
Not with a passion. I mean, look,
Dig up, stupid.
I'll explain myself.
I
just-
please
look,
go next.
And I'm purely basing this off the way that like Quaid, Slips are really good mates of mine, and the way they were treated through that whole situation, I didn't like, and I don't think was handled well, and so that's what I based my decision on. Because
Fair enough.
Yeah, because I don't know many Kiwi rugby players, and the ones that I do know, I really like.
Yeah.
Well, I think J-Born, you need to then explain your Carlos situation thing a bit better because he did his in great detail.
He's a very good talker, though, isn't he?
Thank you, Ryan.
There.
Yeah. No offense.
Well, Higgins, we don't have yours, but your most loved, like playing with or against, or just someone that when you were growing up, you. It's hard to put a Kiwi.
I think, look, player I liked, probably Dan Carter, I reckon. Like,
Oh, yeah. Forgot
Just-
about Dan Carter.
yeah,
Forgot about
No,
the greatest player of all time.
yeah, that's right. No, just genuinely a good player, obviously, and a genuine nice guy, and that's probably the most important thing to me.
Is he your most hated as well because he's a nice guy?
Yes, just so
The
goddamn
oldest
nice.
reading
Yeah, he's like I hate him. I heard he loves a beer.
And
He's not bad on
most
this.
strongly disliked,
Strongly dislike.
but like a budgie smuggler wearing kind of guy.
I'm trying to think of his name, and he was a real pain in the ass to play, real niggly. It was
Jimmy Cowan.
yes, exactly.
I heard he's a fuckwit. I dead said heard he's the worst bloke off the field too.
Strongly disliked. Yeah.
Yeah.
Him.
Jimmy Cowan.
Apparently on the piss he just loves to throw down.
Yeah, my brother had a run in with him.
Actually, yes.
He's from Invercargill.
Is it true?
Didn't box on, but had some words with each other.
God.
Good.
Yeah, we did when I was at the Brumbies, we did the Mauritius 10s in 2016, and Jimmy Cowan was there playing for maybe the Asian Dragons or something rather. Oh man, and he had horrendously, I think he compound fractured one of his fingers in the semi-final, but then on the piss that night, you're right, absolute fucking germ.
Love it.
Yeah. Just shouting, like just wanting to box on with everyone.
Thinks he's the man.
Snapped his finger.
Yeah, should have. But I really didn't
Nice
want to
to
get
meet ya.
punched.
Love it. Hold on, Zaki. I think my most loved was
Oh,
Christian Cullen.
Do you ever just get in a rabbit hole on YouTube just watching
Just
Christian
go
Cullen
watch
highlights?
Every one of those 35 tries or
Like,
whatever
just
in
take your
40
pick.
tests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Or that full-length try he scored against the
Yeah.
Waratahs. They were
Waratahs.
down by about 40.
I don't mean to interrupt here, like I always do. But in the Hong
Well,
Kong
don't
10s,
do it. Then
on the
don't
Hong
do
Kong
it.
10s one year, he was playing and he would have been like 40 or something like that, 38, 40. And he
No,
still had
it's
it, man.
older,
He
yeah.
still had it. He just it wasn't as fast. He was just making people look stupid. Anyway, on your way.
This is back in the day when there was Umanga and Lomu on the wings, and you're, Good, Cullen's got the ball. Oh, God damn it. Couldn't go anywhere. And then my most hated was Sean Fitzpatrick.
Sean Fitzpatrick.
That was during their first era of just dominance.
Of just beating
seeing his
hell
ugly
out of
mug
us.
every time.
Yeah.
And
I mean, Dane Cold has to be up there too.
Yeah, he's the best, eh?
Yeah.
Friends
he's the
loves
best
him.
at what he does.
Yeah, he's just an animal.
I think that's it, Zachy. Is that it?
Did Dallin send his in?
He did. His most liked player was Iramia.
Oh yeah, the
Oh, yeah.
centre. Yeah.
And then most hated was Jay Staunton. Or Scott Higginbotham. Oh, you didn't play for New Zealand, did you? I don't know what he's most hated. He's not here, and I didn't put it in.
Yeah.
You panicked.
I'm panicking. And that's a wrap.
Is that a
On
wrap?
a live rugby show,
No,
the people
no, you
are
don't.
represented by two separate yet equally important.
Yeah, the fade out was good.
Yeah, good fade out,
Good
Zach.
fade out, Zach. Hey.
Very good segment to us.
Well done, us.
Sure.
That was very good.
Can hardly tell you did that one about half an hour before the show.
Yeah, on
either.
the drive in.
No, Zach, we had that days in advance. Brad Thorne, though, right? No, let's
huge.
get back to that. That's
We
huge.
should explore that more.
Yeah.
There's a whole show in that.
I thought it was a
Just
bit
let
of
me
a
know
dig
when you're ready. I'm happy to.
to your mate Sam going, obviously you didn't play for the Wallabies, so you qualify for Japan because obviously you didn't. We would
Do you
have
reckon?
right?
Do you reckon?
We were there.
Do you reckon the Reds are due for a new coach?
Oh, dude, I was just about to ask the same question. Do you reckon they
I think so,
resole
yeah.
the coaching staff? I do.
I'm not saying
After next year.
Yeah.
Mate, I reckon the attack is one out and stagnant. I think our set piece is
They've all
shocking.
they've all re-signed, haven't they?
I'm not sure, but I think he's done a very good job to where they're at, and
We
I
need
I
someone
just
to
think
take it to
there's
the
someone
next
to just
level.
refresh it.
Tim,
Bit of a
they did it with
refresher.
Tim Sampson. You
Yeah.
can't let someone like Simon Cron go. You've got what Thorny did is great.
Yep.
DC's doing the same down in New South Wales, but DC's a better coach.
Yeah.
He's a more technical coach. Nothing against him, but he's been able to bring back passion to the maroon jersey. But I
Yep.
think we need to be getting, and I reckon Jason Gilmore. They should be
Yeah.
going hard at him. He's a Queenslander.
Yep,
Get him back
I mean, there's
ASAP and get a new set piece coach because I
Can
think
that
our
be
set
more of
piece is
just an
shocking.
attacking coach?
Sam-
to
like-
add to Brad Thorne, or you think
I reckon swoop Thorny out the door.
Okay.
Or keep, I don't know.
morale guy?
Morale guy, yes.
yeah.
S&C.
Let's go.
Very good S&C.
Well, yeah, so, I don't know. I think we need someone else at the helm
Bit of a revamp.
with more, like, a more technical base who can take us to the next level. And I also think our set piece is dog shit.
Without Nella.
Well, you shouldn't lose one player and your set piece turn to mud.
Yeah. Correct.
Like,
Yeah.
you shouldn't.
Anyway.
Well, since Freeney's retired, Jeeves is just.
Going down the
downhill,
drain,
right?
mate.
How many,
Oh, sorry, it's this way.
How many premierships? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I'm just joking.
All right, we saw the Super Rugby Pacific final on the weekend. 21 points to 7 in favour of the Crusaders. Absolutely technical, DOS.
Man, like I
Clinical.
Yeah, I was willing the Blues home. I really wanted them to win, but
They had no
man,
chance.
Just no chance.
Shot
Just-
themselves in the foot. They did what the Chiefs did the week before.
Yeah, they did, and and maybe they played, that old saying. And we all thought that the Crusaders maybe had played their final the week before, but man,
I picked the Crusaders.
You did.
guys all-
Why,
You did.
why did you want the Blues to win?
oh man,
Because I've had a couple of people say they want the Blues to win.
Because the
I think
Crusaders
just the
win all the time.
Crusaders
But
are
they-
so-
you know-
I think that's literally the only
It's
reason.
like how everyone was going for the Boston Celtics to beat the Warriors in the basketball because the Golden State have just won 4 of the last 8
But
championships.
when you watch, and my old man was like, "Oh, I really wanted the Blues to win," and why? Like the Crusaders, when you watch them,
You gotta love them.
yeah, like it's great footy, and I can respect really good footy, and that's why they keep winning.
Yeah.
Like it's just
they
great
made,
to watch.
They
They
are-
made the Blues look like a bad Aussie team.
Yeah, well, that's
And I
the
reckon
thing.
the Blues were just like,
But I
they,
think,
they had nothing, right?
I think more of it is based around the fact that, yeah, you do just want to see another team win.
Yeah.
But it's not like when you do watch, like, the Warriors or the Lakers and they just pile on teams and, the Warriors pick up Kevin Durant or, you know, the Lakers get Anthony Davis and all this shit. Like, they're pile-on teams, so you actually genuinely hate them. The Crusaders you don't hate, you just kind of want the Blues to win. Whereas the Crusaders is literally, that's just their makeup. Like, that's their players. It's their talent. It's their system. And what the hell does Razor Robertson have to do to become the All Blacks coach?
100%.
What do you reckon? Another 5 or 6 cups and might have a chance?
But do you reckon anyone got a line drawn through their name after that performance? Or there was definitely old Tui Vasa Sheck had a bit of a shock. He got hooked. What did he get hooked even in the first half? I think
40-something minute, I think. Rico was nowhere.
Mate, they just didn't get an opportunity to do anything.
As
it was
I
just
said,
like a masterclass.
the week before, Peter Gusso-Akula has been the man for the Chiefs all season, and he shit the bed on a couple of occasions. You know, like, I don't know what it is, whether it's the big occasion getting to him or it's the Crusaders turning the screws or both.
Yeah, I think it'd be both. And remember Higgers back in when Ewan was the coach at the Reds when they won it. Well, Matty Taylor actually brought this in. We used to have this thing called heads on a plate. Remember that? And so, you know, we talk about the big-time players, you know, having an off game or whatever. So we actually went into every game and we had heads on a plate, which were 2 or 3 guys from the opposition team who everyone in our team, and we'd identify weaknesses in their games through our analysis. And it'll be in that game we are going, say, for example, I'll give you examples. So when we played the Brumbies, it was Nick White. He was integral to the way they played. So it was every time he picked the ball and ran, if you're at -1, come around and tackle him to the ground. Even if he passed the ball, and just get them out of their comfort zone.
Get him out of rhythm.
Get them out of
Frustrate
rhythm.
him.
Yeah, exactly. Frustrate
There
him.
is one thing he does. He does get frustrated.
Yeah, and so we had
throwing a mouth guard.
We had those guys going into every game. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Crusaders maybe had a similar tactic, which is why, you know, the big name players from the opposition in the games against the Crusaders, you know, they're not seen, or, you know, they're seen to have a bad performance because they might be doing exactly that.
Hell yeah.
Relentless pressure, the whole time. And the Blues just had nothing.
Well, I mean, they both defended well. Like the Blues defended well to a point where the Crusaders only scored 3 tries.
3 tries.
Yeah. To be fair to the Blues, the Crusaders were actually on their try line most of the game. Like, they looked like they were going to score most of the game.
Yeah.
So, you know, credit to the Blues for that. But like the Crusaders, when you just see how they defended, which was the Blues hardly got into their attacking half, right? Like hardly. And then, you know, they just put the pressure on. Sam Whitelock stealing line-out ball all over the joint.
Yeah.
It's just great. And a couple turnovers as well.
Yeah.
Like,
He's insane.
Who's your All Black 10? Higgers.
Well, now, since we're on the topic, mate, Mo'unga, right? Yeah. He's unreal.
I think he put his hand up that game.
He's so quick too. Like,
he and Bowden Barrett, that's the thing. Like, they both actually play very similar games. But Richie's probably a more...
he's more flashy. He's
flashy. He's flashy.
Yeah,
he's flashy with ball in hand, whereas Bowden's flashy when he goes himself.
Yeah.
They can both do those well, and they both play a similar game, a very well-rounded game, but they're the 2 defining aspects. But Richie, like, he creates so much for the blokes outside him. Bowden can, but a lot of the time it comes off his own, whereas Richie does that too, but he is a freak.
Yeah.
That was one of the best games from Richie we've probably seen all year, and he saves it for the final.
Yeah.
You can't.
Mate, they
is so frustrating to say to
so well in those massive games. They just go to another level. It's so good to watch.
It is, man.
Especially for the Satyrs to back up their massive defensive game from last week.
200 plus tackles the week before.
Which you guys didn't think they could do or whatever.
I never said that. I said I was going for the Crusaders.
Zaggy, play back.
I think I actually said my head is going for the Crusaders, my heart. Oh, whatever. I was going for I wanted to see the Blues win, but I knew the Crusaders would. I was a cop-out.
Good save, friends. Hospital Cup, round 8. Brothers 27 over Sunnybank 26. Mate.
Yeah.
Granted, Brothers didn't have any of their Reds players back, but Sunnybank, mate, with Tom Lucas steering the show, Josh Fenner just being big,
they're coming
sexy
back,
out
hey?
there.
Yeah.
Loving it. South 17 got pumped by West 51. This was a drubbing and a half. East 47, Bond 19. We're not going to discuss that one.
What was that? What was that? What'd you say? What was that?
Nah, East 47, Bond 19.
Huge win.
Huge, massive. This is
Yeah.
a big win, Dossie boy.
Mate, huge in the context of it. And I spoke to Benny Moen last week, and he was sort of saying, obviously the results hadn't gone their way, but at the start of the season, you're not so much worried about the results. It's the processes and, leading into those big moments. And they were getting most of them right. And he said it was only a matter of time till they clicked. And, with the added incentive of a ladies' day.
Yeah, the boys.
Yeah, mate, the boys really turned it on. And I hope they can sustain it. I reckon they will.
Eli Pills being back's a big one.
Oh, man.
Richie Asiata.
Pillsy's
Richie
huge.
Oh, I love
Richie,
watching him play.
Van Neck back as well.
Yeah.
Just that experience. They got Matty Garland playing at 13.
Yeah.
Which I think is a really good pickup. We were raving about Bond last week, and I still think they're a very, very good team.
Can we just talk about the guy who was ever commentating that game, just getting Umbella's name so wrong?
Anastasia.
And that's, what is that? Atenacia. Something like that.
Yeah.
It's like,
Anastasia.
have a go. Have a go, mate. You uncultured swine. I just had to call it out. I can't remember who else called it out, but I think Shonny memed
It's
it
like,
the other day. It was
yeah,
good.
he did. Like last year.
Yeah.
Wangalangi.
Wangalangi.
Wangalangi. It's like, scores 3 tries, and he's like, Wangalangi in open field. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Who is it?
I don't know
That
who
was
it was.
Simon Smiles last year.
I don't know who this year. I don't know who
He's
it was.
probably like struggling with the polynose a
Yeah.
little bit. He had a bit of a hell of a day out that day. Wangalangi, 3 tries. But yeah, Matty Garland, he was working on a job site I was on with his brother Puke earlier this year, and he was like, yeah, thinking about coming back, just going to play 5th grade at East.
Yeah.
Been lining up the press. I'm like, oh yeah, good try, bro.
Redlands, I think.
Yeah.
He's a gun, mate.
I think he came back and he was playing 3rd grade. And then Benny and Craigie sort of were like, tapped him on the shoulder, and they said, hey, mate, we could use with your experience up in Premier Grade. And
Yeah, man.
yeah,
Yeah, he's a gun. UQ 14, Jeeps 20.
Sucked in, nerds. No, that was
Jeeps dominated the hell out of
yeah,
him.
it was a good game to watch. And Vookie, it's good to see him. Imagine when him and Joshy Collins, when Joshy Collins is back to, there's some serious pace out wide. Real good. But we're going to miss Tussie when he goes.
Yeah, he's got a contract overseas, eh?
Where's he got?
Japan.
Japan.
Oh, yeah.
Tokyo Gas, is it?
Oh, yeah,
Maybe?
Tokyo Gas,
Possibly?
yeah.
Yeah.
They're right in the mixer, hey, in Shibuya.
That's a good one.
Oh, that'd be,
Yeah.
that's a good one. That's a good one.
So he may not be coming back.
Yeah.
But this was so dominant by Jeeps. I mean, UQ, it was 20-0, and then
But it's a lot of the boys, like the young boys coming through, like the Burnsy, Benedict. He was 7. All these younger guys are sort of just stepping up.
Ben
which is
Burns'
good.
gun, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a little.
I mean,
too.
yeah, you lose Baker.
Yeah.
Is it Baker?
Yep.
And then you got this other young gun who's just chopping up. He's Dan Burns' brother, isn't he?
Yeah.
Ollie Bartlett and Cam Flavel.
That was the
all
best.
game, hey.
That was the best.
They were hating
Did
each
you
other.
guys see
all
Who was
game.
that? No.
Oh, there was a bit of a scuffle. Flavel was just being a typical hooker grub.
Oh, mate, he was just
And,
niggling everyone all game.
Yeah, and then he's pushed. Hudson Myers pushed Flavel, and Flavel's like sort of pushed him back, and then Ollie's come out of nowhere, and they've sort of had a bit of a scuffle, ended up on the ground. Anyway, they got both yellow carded, right? And then Flavel's sitting on the seat, and there's a seat spare next to him on the uni side, and then so Ollie's like doing this real angry, weird like one knee to the ground, and then Cam's grabbed the chair and gave it to Ollie, and Ollie's sort of like, God.
Yeah.
But
I
they-
need to be like,
yeah.
I don't want to see
But I
thanks, man.
I think it was on the Premier Grade
Yeah.
site today, and I tagged them both in it. And then, Flavel was like, "Oh, I got to buy you a beer after the next one." And yeah, that was a good bit of banter.
But-
that's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about.
That's 2 losses in a row
two
for
in a row,
UQ.
yeah.
They've got the Doggies at the kennel this week. The Doggies
Huge.
potentially having, like they had Isaac Henry back for a half, potentially getting
Huge
Carter
shot.
Gordon back soon.
They look good, the dogs.
That's what.
We're gonna
Is
do
Carter
him
Gordon
in.
injured? He should have been in Australia, in my opinion. I know he didn't. He just needs to be the time. He just needs to get that. That's what Australia A would be perfect for him.
For Carter Gordon.
Yeah, possibly.
He's coming along.
Yeah, like he has
He
played,
shows
been
some
playing
good
really
stuff,
well.
right?
But I
Yeah.
mean, if Ben Donaldson and Tane Edmund are there,
Yeah, true.
It's like, you know, you can't fit everyone who's got potential in.
That's
There's gonna
cool.
be
Drop
some-
Ben Donaldson.
Yeah.
I was just about to say that.
I was just going to say, it was New South Wales. Yeah, it's on.
What about the prop at West? Cameron Orr?
Cameron Orr. Carbus Eloff.
That's the one.
Yeah, absolutely. He's my cousin, mate. What about him?
He's only going to be there for a few more weeks, I'm led to believe. I think he's got a wedding over in South Africa and some other things on the books. But him versus George Francis, it was...
Georgie
I asked
had him
Chips
on
Blanche.
toast.
I said to Chips Blanche, I was like, is George Francis boring in a bit? He's like, nothing to really be pinged about.
No.
And
No,
George
he-
Francis was giving it to him.
Yeah, until the
If
fitness sort of
only
came
he
in.
was fit, hey.
Yeah, man. I reckon.
He
I
had a
reckon
lot
he's
of injuries all last year, and when you're that
reckon
size...
he's a guy that definitely needs a. Someone just needs to invest in him for a preseason.
Bro, you know what?
You know what I mean?
Like-
they need to do what they did for Fiao. I think
100%. 100%.
they
It's
gave
case in
Fiao
point.
the option.
Yeah.
They got him in the system.
Yep.
I don't think he's a tight head, in my opinion.
No, he's a loose head, and when Nella's tight head, and when Muffy was hooker or whoever's hooker, that's the best front row Reds had.
I think Fowler's going down to the Brumbies as a loose head.
Oh God, he's going to be a Wallaby soon.
Yeah.
Fotuaika.
Yeah. I think they may be, what I've heard is he's replacing Scotty Seo.
Loose.
That's
Yeah.
good though for him.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's a top bloke.
Yeah.
Absolute top bloke
Yeah.
too. So.
Hopefully down there he can just stay as a loose head.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, George Francis, he obviously did that year in 2020 with the Tigers, who was unbelievable. And then he came back, and then, you know, I don't know who got in his ear or whatever, and then he decided to go
To the Dogs.
I think
to the Dogs. But there was a little bit behind that. 'Cause I think
correct.
the Tars wanted him
Yes.
for like a 4 or 5 week deal, and then something went on.
There's a
And
bit of chat.
From what
about-
I was told, they came to East,
Yeah.
said we would like him for...
well, Gilly came
a little
to East.
bit.
Yeah.
And East either said no on his behalf or didn't
They said no.
inform him.
Yeah. Well, what
And
I
he
heard.
caught wind of it and was like...
Yeah.
That's what I've heard.
That's basically
so
what
it's
happened.
definitely true.
Yeah. And then West were like, here, we'll give you all this money to come
Come
play
to
for us.
come to West. I tell you what, you'll be far more better off, mate. And then he's left and gone south.
Yeah, no, he's at South.
Yep.
But
Someone
yeah,
needs to give
Immense
him a
potential.
preseason.
Oh, man.
His running game's really good too.
Yeah. Oh, mate.
Like
It
he's,
is.
he's a good
He's
player.
got-
He just needs someone to invest in
Yeah.
him for a preseason.
100%.
Yep.
yeah.
Shoot Shield. Dos, you want to run this segment? I know it's your
Yeah,
favourite.
yeah. As usual, man. Couple of like, you know, it's a really open competition at the moment. Hey,
This is good. Buzzword.
anyone can beat anyone on their day.
Did anybody actually watch this
Scott
Manly
did.
versus
Manly
Uni game?
Uni, yeah.
Higgins
Manly
did.
Uni was close.
Did you Higgins?
Did you do all the research?
Did anyone?
I watched the.
This is why we need Dow.
Yeah,
Oh, God, you guys.
Mate,
no, I started yesterday. And I fell asleep. I think.
Two Blues beating Randwick.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah,
That's a big
and
one.
a
Yeah,
very
you
good
gotta run
Randwick
the
side
That
too.
number. Okay, I
With
did.
Nick
I did
Chan-
watch this.
yeah.
Did watch
Yeah.
this. The number 10 for the two Blues is gun.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely gun.
Yep.
He was just carving up. That's about it.
Is he?
I don't know. To be honest,
Why don't you tell us about it,
No,
Jay?
I'm
to be
trying
honest-
to.
to
I'm
be
literally
honest,
trying to run through the scores so I, can
I
explain
try and
it.
watch it. I try and watch a couple every week, like the highlights at least.
Yeah, me
but it's
too.
hard because you don't know many
Me
players.
too, mate.
so-
Honestly.
No, but yeah, it's hard because you don't
hard.
know. You don't really know anyone, so you're sort of like, oh. And you
Why
see-
bother?
If you watch, you might get to know them. West Harbour 10
trying,
going
man.
down to East 26. Gordon 35 over 30. Eastwood, two Blues 21, 5 over Randwick. 33-28. North's got up over the Hunter. Warringah beat South 35-22. But Manly 20 points to 10 over Uni. Uni lost their skipper for striking in a pretty good little scuffle 30 odd minutes in. Uni were down by 4 points with 4 minutes to go and then got a 10-point win. So pretty bloody good. Manly the real deal, and Lalakai Fiketti.
The score's always so big down there. Hey, it's always like 35 to 26 and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, East won 47-19 against Bond and West won 51-17, so I guess it happens up here a bit too.
He's very protective of Shoot Shield. He's very protective. Don't.
You got a point there, mate.
I'm with you.
Thank
I'm
you
with
very
you,
much.
Freddie. It must be a terrible comp.
Defense. Who's top of the table, J-Ball?
Manly.
Nice.
Boom.
I think they
They're
are.
the real deal.
I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not slagging him off at all because I can't wait to go down and actually do the Battle of the Beaches and watch it and sink a million tins.
What is the Battle of the Beaches?
Battle
It's
of the
Manly
Beaches is
versus,
Manly versus Warringah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I like how they get around it down there.
Yeah.
They get about 10,000.
We're gonna have some broses. We're gonna wear linen shirts and we're gonna fit right in, boys.
Yeah.
Yep. It's got to be good.
I bet. Sounds awesome.
Dots hate today.
Something's wrong with my headphones.
To be fair, you played in the
Turn the
ACT.
sarcasm down.
You
Zaggy.
played in the. What is it? Did you play for the Gungahlin Eagles or whatever they're called?
Gungahlin Eagles.
No.
No, mate.
Who's your club team?
The West Lions. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're blue and maroon. Hey.
I couldn't tell you.
I never played for them. You dog. You absolute dog.
I think they are.
Oh,
blue,
no,
yeah,
it's enough
blue,
out of you, mate. You don't care about.
Was that a
club.
Wendell Sailor playing for West kind of deal? Or just kind of have the fun?
Yeah. Just
See you guys.
just whoever, mate. Just put me for whoever. I
local
never played for
players.
anyone.
No. When you go down there, they allocate a club. They allocate
Yeah, I
you to
know
a
that,
club.
mate.
Yeah.
I know that, and you just have no idea.
Hey, we're out of J-ball.
No, it's Freeney's segment now.
Yeah. Well, this is usually what happens each week, right?
I take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a bit of spring in my step. You know, I'm feeling good after about
Retirement.
Retirement, feeling good. I'm so good. I'm so happy. I'm so glad to just go to Fit Stop. Actually, once a week.
Look at me. We should get Herbie on to like go, right, Ryan, are you actually retired? Because this is the 5th time we bought you cake. You did speeches, called everyone in.
Spring roll Bill's trying to the roof.
Right, spring roll night. Right, because
But if they do call me for finals,
yeah. Wait.
last minute.
Freen,
Just
you running the rugby segment?
No.
Okay.
You got the piece of paper, mate.
I
Didn't
do.
read the run sheet
Big
at all.
Fat Das, your rugby from the weekend just gone.
Well, Richie Mwanga. That's it. Next.
You don't really have to say much more.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
don't.
so more.
Because we already spoke about it.
Although, unfortunately, Richie's in that position where Bowden Barrett can play 10 and 15. And if they don't pick Richie as 10 for the All Blacks, then they wouldn't carry him on the bench. You know what I mean?
True.
So
Very insightful,
Sucks.
Big Fat Das.
this really sucks for Richie. That's why he's my rugby.
You're out of control, mate.
You are, man. Freeney, your rugby.
Sam Whitelock. I couldn't think of anything. I totally forgot about the segment. But Sam Whitelock is an animal.
Sam Whitelock was
He gets
mine,
better and
eh?
better. Yes. Learned to me the other week. No, but how good is he? He doesn't stop. I think the difference between us and our and New Zealand second row is they're so dynamic.
Yep.
Anyway, who's yours?
Higgins, your rugby.
Look, Freen stole mine. I
Yes!
was going to say Whitelock. Did he get man of the match?
I don't know.
Don't know.
Yeah.
He should have.
He should have. I mean,
The
he
Blues
was just,
lost
he was great.
51% of their set piece.
Yeah.
10 from 19.
Far out. That's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yep.
That's
Although I did really like Matera's kick. I mean, I'm a big fan of a loose foot. that
Actually,
kicks
how
the
good-
ball.
He's a grub.
How good?
Left footer as well.
Good mustache too.
How good? He just goes. He's tough as.
He's just a
does.
feisty.
He's thick,
goes.
isn't he?
Yeah, he just goes.
He's got that big, like, Neanderthal skull.
Yeah.
Dave Taylor, right?
Dave Taylor, yeah. He looks like that.
That's who it is. I'll be
The
like,
Coal
what
Train.
does he remind
Someone
me of?
called me Dave Taylor lately, but like the later version,
Who did?
the recent one.
Oh, recent Dave
Ah.
Taylor.
No, not the old Dave Taylor.
Where he does that chip and chase. Oh, yeah. But he plays Mackay or something, doesn't he?
He's thicker than a bowl of oatmeal, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Higgins, you don't have anyone else?
No,
he
yeah.
just said,
No,
he just
no,
explained
He
two
said Sam
people.
Whitelock.
No, I get.
Oh, Pablo Matera.
Oh, okay.
Matera.
J-Ball's trying to stall because he's got to think of one too.
Yours was Whitelock, was it?
Yeah.
He was very good.
Mine is North's Rugby Club as a whole. No losses over the weekend. They killed it. It was the bye week.
Yeah, I gathered.
Zach.
Thanks, Zach.
I don't have anything. I can't think. Your rugby, DOS?
Maybe it'll be a tie this week. Razor Robertson.
Oh,
Just
that's a good
because.
rugby.
Yeah.
Don't
Out of
do
the
that.
Got to
box.
see that dance again.
Yeah, and mainly because of those dance moves. And Leicester Rugby. I think it's good to see someone beat Saracens in a premiership final.
That and they were bottom of the table last year.
And they were bottom
Really?
of the table last year to winning it against beating Sarries in the final. So yeah, they're my 2 tied rugbays of the week. Just sucked in J-ball.
I was actually going to say
You had so many-
because when you said Razor, I was like, "Wow, that's a good left field one. Maybe I'll truly his left field one." Less the
Johnny's gone
Tigers.
both.
Now I've got nothing.
You still have to name something though.
I know.
You can't finish with Norths. Come on, think quick.
Okay,
quick.
My
Right, lock.
rugby is Vookie.
Yes.
Getting
Please.
2 tries for the Gallopers on the weekend. The first one, that really dinky little kick over the top, was awesome. Then the second one,
Do you reckon he faked that?
the second one, he bombs it down the sideline with the turnover. Guy coming over and he's, so he just puts the grubber in, and I think it was
The guy was sort of
Joseph
like,
Alalo stops and goes, "Oh, he's done his hammy," and he keeps hobbling, picks it up and scores. Ref's like, right? He's like, "Oh shit, what?"
yeah, it was so funny. The guy's like,
Classic
"Oh, should I
move.
tackle him? Should I not?"
Yeah, he pinged his hammy, so
and
he
just
kept running.
like, "No."
And then he just puts a grubber in, so he's like, "Oh, all right then." And then Vookie's like,
Yeah, it was good. It's so funny.
so yeah, Vookie, Veresima Titini. Did you know in 2012 and 2013, playing for Norths, he scored 49 tries.
He was out of control.
What?
49 tries in a 16-game season. In two
Is it a
16-game
fact?
seasons.
What?
Uh-huh. Playing for
I
Norths.
thought the previous best was like, didn't James Stewart?
That's over 2 seasons.
2 seasons. James Stewart scored like 26 tries in
Yeah.
a season.
2007,
As a
wasn't it?
7.
2007 or
Yeah.
2000.
He was ridiculous. He was ridiculous.
James Stewart was an absolute
I
freak, mate.
played against him Friday night. He's running around for the Tigers.
For the Tigers,
Yeah.
Still punching darts and belting blokes.
Still belting blokes. I didn't see him punching darts. Didn't see him around. He's still belting blokes. I'm like, not him.
He still looks fit
Mate,
as
he is.
He's just
He,
like
no,
so solid.
he's
dude.
like, he was carrying a little bit last year, but this year unfortunately he's quite fit.
I was going to say, just what you want when you're playing against him on a Friday
man.
night game of footy.
Did you beat him?
Yeah, smash the Tigers. Yeah, we won. We did win.
Higgins, do you reckon you'll lace up, play for the Black Dogs one day?
I reckon he will.
It's harder
That
to
would be
cost
We
Awesome.
nearly got him last year, I think. Wait, I don't think we
You've been
did.
getting itchy feet, hey, Hig?
A little bit. I did.
play at Gallopers.
Yeah.
I went to.
No, that's not.
I went to West South on the weekend, and I did think, how many games do you need to play so that you can play
Qualify.
finals?
It's not too late.
I know.
5.
That'll be
Is it 5 or
years,
6?
mate.
Is that 5 or 6?
Dispensation.
It's a
Five, I
third
think
of a
five.
season, so or something like that, isn't it?
No,
To be safe. So it's start round 1 again. Oh, yeah. Start round 1 again this week, isn't it?
when my back's recovered fully, then I would like to, but I'm only playing with the numbers 9 and above on my back.
Oh,
I'm not playing in the forwards.
there we go.
Oh,
I'm-
what do you think?
I made that mistake for too long.
Yeah, I know. You did
You've
have
seen
to-
the light.
What position are you thinking, though?
Look, at the Classic
Blind winger?
Wallabies game in New South Wales, I played 12, and that was a little bit too close to the action.
Too
So I'm thinking 11, 14, 15. That triangle there.
triangle,
That's a good one.
Pendulum.
That's the place to be, man. Trust me, it's the place to be.
So
I
maybe.
wish I was fast. Just for a day. Just for a day.
For one day.
I'm like
for one
Naruto
day.
everywhere. That's all I want.
Higgers, I got a question,
Yes.
mate.
Yes.
You came up from North Coast, like
Goldie.
Up the bar.
Goldie, and you came to West, and this is more advice for any young footy players.
Yes.
How many milk crates does it take to make a bed frame when you're a young 18-year-old living in someone's sunroom? How many is it? It'd have to be at least 20, right?
Mate, I didn't have crates. I had a mattress on the floor of just floorboards in a sunroom, like you say. So, like, I got sick every night. Like, the cold. just
Yeah,
came up to the
because of the draft.
I was like, oh,
Sunroom.
God, well, fuck, I'm
It's a
so
damn-
cold.
I can't get away from this cold.
That was
Because
like,
Darcy was thinking if he had milk crates, he wouldn't get sick.
Yeah, you would be insulated. Up off the ground. Maybe. Oh, there's the power of hindsight.
You should have shared that wisdom with him back then,
Maybe
mate.
the milk crates were after your residence at the villa in Paddington.
would someone else take that sunroom?
They must
That's
have.
some poor fella.
Must have been a milkman. I was looking at the setup and they go, Higgers used to live there. Oh. So you were never with the milk crates?
No. Or no, I might have had some as storage.
Oh, under it.
Storage.
Okay.
Just for my t-shirts and shorts.
T-shirts.
Yeah.
I remember you said just
That's
have
how
a
poor I was.
surfboard,
Yeah.
footy boots, couple of footies. That was it.
Just the essentials.
Yeah, but you just come in, leave.
What a life.
Everyone, everyone,
So much easier back then.
everyone
That's
growing
right.
up used to live in a footy house back in the day. Did you ever have to do it for eats? I not have to do it. Are you out of it yet? You're going back
I'm
in.
going
are
back
you?
in, mate.
Going back in. Jeez, little
No,
guys
only
that
when
good.
I moved to England, I lived at home till I was about 22, 23.
Oh, explains.
Well, I was between here and Brisbane and the coast. Yeah, I went to England and lived in a footy house. That was good fun. Yeah, that's good fun. Well, we're in the middle of nowhere, though, to be honest with you. But yeah, it was good. It was Well, I had to replace all the doors. Like I had to rebuild
What
everything.
you do? Is that what you want to talk about?
No, it wasn't.
I don't talk about it.
No. So where we stayed was a nice house. The Kiwi boys' house was real. They had to pay for their power and everything. Poor blokes. I walked around in boardies all year round in my unit. These poor Kiwis.
He's a
I go
boardies
over
guy,
there.
not a budgie guy.
They've got everything on. They've got everything on. I'm like, why'd you get the heater on? It's like, oh, we're gonna pay for power. I'm like, oh, you guys gotta pay for power. I'm like, yeah. But we'd go there after every night, and for some
Trash it.
reason, this
Take the doors off.
this this massive jar of coins just was there. But every Sunday it would just be everywhere, all over the floor, and what they were just destructive fellas. I had to hang all the doors again, and we got loose. It was really loose. A lot of wrestling.
There's something
You know what I mean when you come home?
something with the doors, eh?
Yeah. Anyway,
Door-related capers.
yeah.
Okay,
Anyway, that's it.
that's it.
That's everything.
That's everything, mate.
Awesome. Well, that rounds out this week's episode of the PAC Show. Dos, thanks very much for joining us. Higgins, thank you so much for stepping in for Dal. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here. Give him a round of applause,
On you,
everybody.
Scotty.
Did it.
Kill Switch and Big Fat Das. Pleasure as per usual. Zachy Boy on the ones and twos, killing it as per usual. And be sure to tune in next week. We don't know who we've got on the show. We don't know what rugby we're going to talk about. We're definitely going to have to do a lot about the shoot shield. Hopefully Dow's back.
So
for
I'll
that.
probably be away.
So
I'm replacing
maybe
Dos next
Dos will
week.
sit that one out until a bit of footy rocks up. But in the meantime, stay safe and we'll see you next week.